Zaris.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I think you'll recall this case several meetings ago. This matter was brought before you due to the ongoing criminal activity on the property. At that time, the residents, the people that were living in the property, were essentially creating a significant blight in the community. The house was falling into complete disrepair. There had been these ongoing code enforcement cases, as you can see from the on the screen in front of you, going back to 2020. And it's a matter that was very familiar with code enforcement as well as the city's police department. At that time, we requested that the city council authorize our office to pursue a civil abatement action to try to get the courts to order compliance with it. After we did that and we initiated that, started to move forward with that, additional criminal activity occurred on the property. The police department had a lot of activity out there, made several arrests. The building department got involved. The code enforcement individuals involved. Essentially, an entire task force from the city went on the property and discovered that, and found that the property was in deplorable condition. So the building department and our office initiated an abatement action, which was designed to go ahead and ultimately demolish the structure, but in the meantime, take several steps to secure the property. By way of an example, there was a swimming pool that was in terrible condition on the property. The abatement action allowed the city to hire a contractor to go out there and cover the pool up. I believe there was some fencing done, some other cleanup and done, and so the city expended a fair amount of money to make the property safer for the neighborhood. You can see on your screen that it's staff's recommendation that the lien amount be reduced to $11,000. The difference between that is for the city to be able to recover a portion of the costs, actually all the costs and fees that were incurred when we initiated the abatement action.
Is there anyone here in the audience that wants to speak to this item? Please step forward, state your name and address.
Unfortunately, right across the street from this disaster. For the last 4 to 5 years, we've had to put up with that disaster. I've been called everything but a white woman by the owner of it. I have been threatened. My dog has been attacked by a pit bull. I pulled the city records. I asked for a records request. 461 calls to that house. Mr. Manzarek sent me an email about what was going on here, and he didn't want to put the taxpayers to any more of a burden by demolishing the house. But who paid for all of those 461 calls? The taxpayers paid for it. And to see this reduced down to that is utterly ridiculous. We're still putting up with, we can't sit in our yard because of mosquitoes eating us up. There's still drug people coming by the house all the single time. I'm watching to make sure nobody's stealing anything from over there. Our neighborhood has been reduced in our property values because of that place. And to see those liens lowered that much, it's not fair. It's not fair to me. It's not fair to my husband, which gave this city 30 years of his life. And you people wouldn't let him build a garage to help our property look better, but you're going to let these people walk out of here with money? That is very highly frustrating. I don't understand why any of you would allow that. It's not right. We had that garage approved by the, I don't know what, but it was approved, and then you guys turned around and kicked it out. And that man gave you 30 years of his life. But yet we have to deal with this, and then they're going to walk away with money. I'm done.
Thank you.
So I just wanted to say, you know, what was going on at this house was outrageous. And when we had the first hearing between what police and fire had to deal with at this house was just, I mean, I was unaware of it until it came, you know, several months ago. And I saw some videos that the residents had. I mean, I can't imagine. It was like they were hostages in their own home. I felt so sorry for the young lady who it was her first home, and she was scared to take her trash can out. I mean, that's just horrible.
I might need the attorney back up here, but so any of this money that's going to be paid, is that going to be penalized to the buyer, or is that going to be penalized to the seller?
Seller.
Well, it's going to pay out at closing, so there will be proceeds paid by the buyer into the closing statement, and the closing agent will disperse them to pay the city as well as pay whatever other liens are on the property, as well as any back taxes. And at the end of the day, whatever's left over will go to the seller.
Okay, so I saw that he or she purchased it for 150 or 125.
Inherited it. They
Inherited.
inherited it from their father.
Wait, are you talking about the current owners or the buyer?
The buyers.
The buyer, the contract
Contract's
price is
for 125.
125.
125. So he's paying that, but he hasn't, I guess you're the attorney for him, so.
No, I'm turning for the seller.
Seller, okay. So is there any, if this was not, which really comes to $16,416, if this was a higher amount, that wouldn't benefit the sellers at all?
No, it would, this comes out of the proceeds before they get dispersed to seller. So the buyer's gonna pay in the 125. They're gonna deduct this, any money, whatever the fees are y'all come to, that has to be deducted from the money prior to being dispersed to the two sellers.
Exactly what I wanted to hear. I'm okay with the 87,329.40. I mean, just to go on a little bit, I know the folks that live around there. One actually moved. I walk that area almost daily. And it's just amazing. I understand we all have property rights, but sometimes it just goes way too far. I mean, it's really like you're hostage in your own house. So I feel for those folks. None of this money should go back to the owners that just made it hell for people for 4 years. So I'm okay with the 87,329.40.
Do we have any other discussion? Do I have a motion?
I make a motion that we have the lien at $87,329.40.
Second.
And I just want to clarify, so that would be the lien of $87,329 related to the code enforcement action, plus the abatement liens of,
Yeah, that sounds good.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any other discussion? Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Councilmember Askew.
Aye.
Deputy Mayor Trace.
Aye.
Councilmember Matheny.
Aye.
Mayor Blackwell.
Aye.
Motion carries 4-0.